When there are earthquakes, there have been earthquakes in Mexico, in Central America, in South America, in places in Europe, we send our best minds and our best engineers and our best equipment there and everybody, and we help. You know how much we charge for that? Not $1. But we're so hated by the world. That's because there are many believers here. The world sees America as still being a Christian nation, as it were. But thank God for America. Thank God for America. But we have enemies, many enemies all over the place. So God says, I wanted to protect you. And I like the picture of the hen with the chicks. If there's any danger, the hen immediately covers the chicks with her wings. So you got to get through that hen to get to the chicks. Just like you parents. If there's danger, where's my kids? You grab their hand, oh, you pick them up. When there's danger, you see examples of it. If they're small enough, when they're shooting in these schools, you see on the news, parents come and they're picking up a teenager. The dad grabs the big teenage girl or guy, grabs them and picks them up. Doesn't even think twice about it. And you want to get to this kid, you're going to have to shoot me. You have to go through me. And that's after mama already got in the way. Mama always beats the guys there. While the guys, well, what should I do? The mama's already taking care of it. That's the way Maggie was always. I had Maggie, I got it. Doesn't even listen. You have to go through me. They're like she-bears, protecting the kids. And God is like a she-bear. He wants to protect his kids. Amen. He wants to protect this country because there are millions of us here. But because many of us have failed in our responsibility to vote, to vote for Christian people, well, I just won't vote. Well, if you just don't vote, then the evil people get into power, and then they ruin our lives and ruin our neighborhoods. Anyway, I don't want to go there. So he said, you see, you're not willing, so your house is left to you desolate. God doesn't want to see America suffer. He wants to see us blessed. Because when we're blessed, we should be able to preach the gospel freely. And that's one of the things we're supposed to pray for. So, let me continue. Let me tell you the story about the lion. Who's the king of the jungle? Most people say the lion. And if you ever watch some of these things on TV, I guess YouTube, these animal shows, I'm not going to argue with a lion. I think that the pure muscle they have this big, giant, muscular body to carry this big, giant head with a big, giant mouth, with big, giant teeth. And lions can weigh, I understand, 400 to 600 pounds of pure, solid muscle. And they're like the shark, except they're not in the water. That's all sharks are. Sharks are eating machines. That's all. They could smell blood, they say, very far, and they could hear from some crazy distances. And if there's any blood, the sharks come. How they smell it, I don't know. Well, that's the way lions are, except... so, the lion is known to be the king of the jungle. I guess nobody's going to argue with that at this point. In a minute you might. So he's known to be the king of the jungle only until it, the lion, foolishly tangles with an elephant. I don't know what an elephant weighs, a full-grown elephant, we see big ones and big. I don't know how many tons, they're in the thousands of pounds. I could have looked it up, but I didn't want to. So the lion, he's the king of the jungle and I've seen it on some of these shows, nature shows, just out of curiosity, a lion trying to take on an elephant. Stupid lion. So the lion attacks the elephant by jumping on its back. Exactly what I see. The lions are smart. They're predators. They know how. They always like to attack. If you'll notice, they usually like to attack a bigger animal, a hippo, a rhino. If you've ever seen them, I've seen them fight them too. They like to get it from the back and jump on its back because the thing's trying to get it off. Meanwhile, it's with those powerful teeth. It locks on the back with its claws. I'm giving you a history in killing elephants. And then it's biting it and all of that, and it's doing everything. So the lion's doing all that on the back. He's trying to bring the elephant down, but he gets nowhere. just like I saw nowhere. So the elephant finally, you know, he's got that long trunk, and I remember years ago reading how many muscles there were in the trunk of an elephant. I think 120 muscles, something like, some ridiculous thing like that. Finally, the lion gets a hold of the elephant gets a hold of the lion. That's not good news for the lion. He grabs it and flings it around, bangs it on the ground a few times, and finally throws it how many feet in the air. It lands, it hits a tree, and it comes down. And usually then it comes over and stomps on it. It likes to stand on things and trample on it. And then if anybody wants an area rug, you've got one built in. Just peel it off. Everything is oozed out of it. It's just nice and flat. Okay? Yeah, I mean, the one I saw, I've seen it a couple of times on TV. And it's not that I like to watch it, but I just want to see. Okay? See what's going on here. It makes good preaching material. So, the other animals are looking on. And they say, wow. You know, the hyenas, the laughing hyenas, they think, oh, that elephant's in trouble because that lion, he's killed a bunch of us. And all the monkeys and even the gorilla, everybody's watching. So after they see the elephant, you know, throw that lion like 15, 20 feet in the air, crashing up against the tree, and after it does that stomping dance on it, they'll say, well, who the king of the jungle? And they'll say, the elephant, you're the man. I mean, you're the king. You're the real king of the jungle. Then the elephant takes off, and, you know, in a strut, you know, with the trumpet, he's trumpeting, you know, that sound they make. And they're trumpeting, and he's going real tough down the road, and nobody can mess with him. They find out that the elephant is the true king of the jungle, right? But after he walks, you know, maybe 200-300 feet through the jungle, all of a sudden, he starts to go crazy and spinning around, and he's in terrible, terrible pain. And nobody, well, what happened? Did somebody attack the elephant? And he's just spinning around, and he's exhausted. He doesn't know what to do. He's knocked trees down. He's run all over the place. Finally, he goes down to his knees, and his head is by the ground. And out of his ear jumps a little flea. A little flea jumps out. So the flea says, who's the king of the jungle? It's still the elephant. It's still the elephant. But there's a lesson to be learned there, isn't there? The elephant has learned a powerful lesson. Who's the king of the jungle in the world? There's only one superpower in the earth today. It's called the United States of America. China's trying to get it there, but they can't touch our military. They have numbers, but our military is just scary. And why have we not been attacked by any other foreign power? Because we have a powerful military. Anybody ever went to school? You remember the guys on the football team? How come nobody messed with them? The guys on the football team, you see my shoulders there, like it looks like two guys, it's one guy. They're a big bound, the big lineman, the linebacker, the big powerful. Nobody ever messed with them. Why? Because they're the elephant. They'll throw you around and you throw you against the building and then they go stomp on you. You can't beat them. They're too big. So they don't get into fights. They're respected. That's why the U.S. doesn't get into wars. They're afraid of us. That's a good thing. We want to keep the world afraid of us because that keeps us safe. Right. It's expensive to maintain a military that huge. But it's more expensive if we have to go to war and then we start losing the real treasure we have, which is our young men and women. And then we still have to rebuild and arm. We'll have to spend more money doing all of that than we would have spent if we just kept a strong military. That's right. So that's why we have a strong military and we need to keep it that way. It keeps us safe. Now, if we're going to be a bully, but we're not. The average American doesn't want to take over any other country. We just want to keep the peace. We're the policemen of the world. Well, we can't police everything. I know we can't, but thank God that we do. We help keep peace in the world. Because all you have to do is an aircraft carrier battle group shows up, and usually the despot or the dictator of whatever country says, oh. I think of the building of the Panama Canal and the Teddy Roosevelt. He wanted to build a canal there, and then you all know where the map is, and you see Panama, a little country, there in that connecting land between North and South America. So he decided to start building. So Colombia sent its military, and they had to go through a certain road where it's pretty close to the ocean. They started to send its military north to go up, because they're in South America. And Teddy Roosevelt put a battleship where they could see it, by that road. And the general of that army and the generals got together. That looks like an American battle wagon out there, battleship, big guns. I don't know if we were running 12, maybe 14 inches on that ship at the time. I don't know which one of the other. Big guns, naval guns. And you know what happened? The Colombian army said, I don't think so. I don't think we need to. So they went back. And then Teddy Roosevelt just went on through it and built it. So speak softly, carry a big stick. That's where the saying come in. He would do it with a battleship. Did he overdo things? Yes, he did. He did. But the idea is there. Nobody wants to mess with you when you have a powerful military. So the elephant learned a powerful lesson. Even though he is the biggest and strongest animal in the jungle, he's vulnerable to an enemy that he cannot easily see, hear, or detect. The elephant, although the king of the jungle, must learn to walk carefully and always beware of his surroundings. So why did I say all that? Why did I use that illustration? Here's why. This illustration of the elephant and the flea is a type of the United States and today's domestic forms of terrorism. I said domestic, not just, foreign. Like 9/11, where we got hit by a bunch of Saudis. There were Saudi Muslims that brought the buildings down. But domestic, there are politicians, like I said. There are teachers. There are judges. Sometimes there are pastors. Some churches are that socialist. They want to bring the country down. So America's powerful, but the founders, Thomas Jefferson, and I forget a couple of the others, maybe more than two, they said that the Constitution, when they wrote it, has one weakness. One weakness. Because it's left up to the voter. The power of the country is in the hands of the voter. It said, an immoral people can bring this country down. That's the weakness. Because an immoral people will want to change the Constitution, and there are ways that can be changed through voting. And then that's the only way the Constitution can be undone. The Constitution as we have it was built for a moral people. Morality based on God's Word. So that's the weakness in our nation, Constitution, for an immoral people. And we're getting more and more immoral people in power. And we, the people, are voting these immoral people into power. We're doing it to ourselves. And God is standing there having the power to change it, but He won't. He says, because you're not willing. You kicked me out of the churches, out of the, some churches have been kicked out. We know that, Revelation 3:20. You kicked me out of the schools, you kicked me out of the courts, you kicked me out of the government, you kicked me out of everywhere. Now you want me to bless you so that I could bless the evil that you do? God won't do it. So, Jesus finally said, for I say to you, you shall see me no more. And I'm thinking of America now. You shall see me no more till you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. What is that saying, Pastor? How are you using that? God is waiting for America to invite him back. Not just by religious praying and show, but by truly honoring God, and especially in the churches. Truly. Truly, he said. The churches must bring back sound doctrine. Not all this stuff, God is Santa Claus and that God lives to fulfill your wishes. And I can give you names. I've given you names in the past of preachers that are doing that. God doesn't exist to be your Santa Claus, to fulfill your wishes, to make you happy. That's not what he exists for. Jesus said in this world you're going to have tribulation, trouble. Be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. Stick with me. Stick with my program. We'll get through this together. So the churches must bring back sound doctrine, sound Bible teaching, prayer, and Bible reading to where they have historically been. Historically, the church in America has been strong. Until the last, I don't know how many years, do I dare put a number on it, 30, 40 years? And the last 10, 15 years is a joke. If the Apostle Paul would walk into one of our churches, and he started many of the churches in his day, he wouldn't know it. He'd think he'd be at a Hollywood something or a Hollywood show somewhere. Entertainment is the big deal in churches. I want to finish with this scripture. If you could put it up, Susan, 2 Chronicles 7:14. Many of you know it by heart. 2 Chronicles. Somebody says, well, that's Old Testament. Yeah, but the principle is there. Right. God's principles don't change. God was against murder in the Old Testament, he's still against murder. He's against lying in the Old Testament, he's still against lying. And so on and so on. Second Chronicles 7:14. Oh, and I left myself a few minutes to talk about it. I like this. It starts with, if my people.